Donkey Kong meets Phoenix Wright, Legend of the Crystal Turnabout. In the last episode, defense attorney duo Phoenix Wright and Maya Fey found themselves face to face with one of Congo Bongo's most despised denizens, the petulant parrot, Polly Roger. While many in the courtroom, including prosecutor King Rool, are ready to let Polly take the fall for the Crystal Coconut's destruction, our heroes will settle for nothing less than the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And thus, it falls on Phoenix to cross-examine this nuisance of a witness despite the protests. Will Phoenix pry the proof from the pesky parrot's beak? Will the true culprit finally be revealed? Does Phoenix actually owe Maya $20? Oh, shh. Let's check back in on the chaotic courtroom. It sounds like the trial is about to resume.
So, the little avian dude with Mondo negative vibes saw the commotion in the cabin?
Yep. You'll have to let me testify now, mateys.
Do we have to?
Everyone in the room turns to look at me, effectively deferring the weight of the question to the one with the most legal experience. Polly seems to be universally hated here. I can't really blame them because, so far, he's acted like a spiteful jerk. But maybe if I treat him a little more respectfully, he might ease up? Kind of a tough call on this one. I suppose, regardless of who it is, honesty is the best policy here. This is a courtroom, after all. At the end of the day, the most important thing is finding out the truth of what happened. The law and all those who work under it have a responsibility to ensure that justice is delivered appropriately.
Who cares what he thinks? The judge gets to decide something like this. Well, Your Honor, must we allow this feathered cretin to testify?
We, Inka, Dinka, do.
Oh, come on! Not the bird.
Witness, take the stand. State your name and occupation.
Ahoy! Polly Roger, a professional pirate.
More like a full-time turncoat.
Sure, why not? After all, what was that thing you used to say? You would sell your own mother for a single cracker. Well, I'll have you know, matey, that she's no longer with us.
Oh. Gosh. I suppose I'm sorry to hear that.
Nah, don't be sorry. A pet store owner took her, and if you think it was for a single cracker, check this out. I knitted an entire packet of those peanut butter cracker sandwiches.
Everybody in the courtroom stares at Polly with looks of abject horror and disgust. You can't see my face, but I assure you I'm doing the same.
Oh, come on. It was a joke. Ever heard of them? Have you Congo Bongo Bozos invented jokes yet? Or pants, for that matter? I should have expected you dungaree dimwits wouldn't know.
You need to stop being so needlessly antagonistic to everyone.
And you need to go back to wherever it is you came from. What species are you even supposed to be? Are you friends with that whiz pig guy or something?
There's no reasoning with that psycho parakeet, miss. If I were in a room with Donkey Kong and Polly Roger and given a coconut gun with 2 coconuts, I would shoot the bird. Then I would give Donkey Kong the gun to shoot the bird again. And then we would take turns beating Polly with the blunt end of the gun.
A musclehead monkey and an oversized alligator. I'm so scared.
Look, Polly, I understand that you don't get along well with the other residents here. I don't know what kind of past you have with them to be on such bad terms, but right now you're potentially in hot water if you have anything to do with this crime. It's in your best interest to put everything aside and just tell us the honest truth about what you saw. I just need you to work with me here. I promise that we will handle this fairly and that I will treat you with the professional respect that I would like to receive in return.
Well, I'll be keelhauled. I've never had anyone treat me with respect before. Okay, I'm sorry for my rude behavior. Look, I tell you what, matey.
Polly turns around and begins rummaging through his pockets, or wherever it is that birds keep their belongings anyway. He turns back to face Phoenix, this time holding some sort of object in his right wing. However, he's covering it up with his left wing.
I found something really important at the crime scene. I've been keeping this evidence secret, but for being such a nice guy, I'll give you a peek. None of you other ingrates, though.
Polly can't fly with his wings in their current position, so he drops to the floor and scuffles over into the far corner of the room where even Inka Dinka Doo wouldn't be able to see. He leans his neck out from behind his hiding spot and gestures for Phoenix to come over to him to get a good look at whatever secret he's holding.
New evidence? Knowing he was there, it's possible he may have taken something from the scene before any of us got there to investigate. Well, I thank you for your cooperation, Polly, I really do.
Phoenix, duck!
I duck as fast as I can, just in time to feel something swoosh right over my head. Turning to look at where whatever it was went, there's an arrow sticking out of the side of the gallery seating. What in the world just happened?
It was a trick! He got you to step on one of the temple's booby traps! He almost turned your head into a pincushion!
What's the big problem? An extra spike to add to your already spiky hair? Oh, or maybe it might have buzzed right over you and given you a haircut. I'd be doing you a favor then.
You almost killed him! I'll kick your butt into next week, you crazy cockatiel!
You will have to get into a very long line for that. In fact, I'll take the initiative to get that started right now. Come now, single file, everyone.
Parrot who has always acted your worst. Your acts will catch up to you in the form of a curse.
Get over yourself, Boulder for Brains. As if anyone would believe that.
You were warned to watch what you do and say, but your deeds were foul, and now you must pay.
So, is that a green light, or...
Hear my word, and rest assured, karma will catch up to this cursed bird. But for justice to be served, this testimony must still be heard.
Come on!
Phoenix makes his way back to the defense bench with slow, careful steps, his eyes locked on the floor.
I must look like a cartoon character walking like this. But this is better than finding out about another trap the hard way. So there really wasn't any new evidence after all, was there?
What? Of course there was. Here, look.
Polly finally moves his wing so that Phoenix can see what the other wing is holding underneath, but it's just Polly making a rude gesture with his feathers.
I don't know why I expected anything differently. Across the room, I see Rool rubbing his temples.
Let's just get this over with as quickly as possible.
Fine. The witness testimony.
The sun was frying me, so I was looking for somewhere to get some shade. I saw Grandpa Goofball go out into the forest, so I knew his hut would be empty. I hid in my secret spot the whole time so I wouldn't get caught if the old guy came back. When, shiver me timbers, that big old Donkey Kong came right in and smashed the coconut. And then he pilfered the fridge and made a mess. And I thought I was the pirate. Or was I the parrot? Then I helped myself to a little bit of the leftovers.
I'll be honest, that was a lot of talking and none of it was helpful. I'm skeptical how much of it is actually true. Probably none of it, I'm starting to think.
The defense will now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination, I guess.
Rats! I thought it'd be easy to get him with those banana markings. But he's just saying he raided the scene afterwards.
Maybe it's just his attitude, but this testimony screams suspicious to me. especially how he just happened to be hiding in the cabin at the same time Donkey Kong was in there. I don't buy that he was just trying to find shade from the sun.
Yeah, but even lame alibis are still alibis. Nothing he said directly contradicts anything established.
Then it's time to start probing for more info. If he's lying, then a contradiction will have to show itself eventually.
You know, that mention of a secret spot seems pertinent. That could tell us about where his point of view was during these events.
Good call. We'll try that route first. Hold it! Polly, you're going to have to be a little more specific about this secret spot of yours.
What? But then it wouldn't.
Before you even think about saying something snarky. Just remember that you're the one on thin ice right now. The whole island is ready to lock you up and throw away the key if they think that you did this crime.
Yes. Aye.
I'd suggest you start talking.
What you see is what you get, matey. I'm perched up there in the photo you took.
Just that one spot?
I had to be. It's the only spot in the house where the landlubbers can't see me.
Hang on a moment. Looking at the photo, I see the spot in question is against the ceiling. It is indeed rather obscured from sight. In fact, I don't think anyone could possibly see the hiding spot there, unless... From what I can tell of this location, it's hidden at an angle to where it can only be seen from the reflection of the mirror.
Yar, that'd be right. It's a real shame that everybody knows about it now. But this crowd is so dumb, they'll probably all forget about it by tomorrow.
There he goes again.
I get the feeling something doesn't add up. Wait. Cranky said that the mirror went missing sometime that day. And that means... I think I've put together a line of attack now. I don't know exactly what lies this bird is telling in specific, but I'm about to trap him in at least one. I need to verify something, Polly. If your hiding spot can only be seen through the mirror, that means the only way you could see the rest of the room would be through that very same mirror, correct?
I guess so. I never really thought about it.
I see what you're about to do.
Not quite yet, Maya. I have to get another fact established first. Then we've got him. So, you were just hiding there the entire time you were in the house. Klump, Krusha, Maya, and I all saw you fly out of the house only a matter of seconds before we entered it ourselves. Were you in the cabin from the time Cranky left until we arrived to investigate?
That I was, matey. Between DK taking the banana cream pie and you ape attorneys showing up, I was the only one in there. I had time to grab a snack, brush my beak, do a few crossword puzzles. Also, Cranky, you're out of milk.
Out of what?
Great! Then you can tell us exactly what happened to the mirror.
The what?
The mirror. You know, the mirror. The one we've been talking about. The one that we took a picture of the day before, but is now currently missing. Know anything about that?
Well, you see... Actually, wait, are you sure it's missing? I guess I didn't notice.
Objection! Polly, you seem to be a bit tongue-tied, so let me summarize everything for you. We'll start with your own testimony. You have stated yourself that you were somewhere in Cranky's cabin, hidden or otherwise, for the entire time from when Cranky left that morning to early afternoon when we got there to investigate. If you were out in the open, you would have been spotted, and if you were in your hiding spot, then the mirror is the only way you could see the majority of the room below. However, there's something else we need to take into account. We have to revisit Cranky's testimony. The owner of the home does not recall noticing that same mirror was missing, but states that it was there the previous night.
Polly's practically sweating at this point, if birds can even do that, but Phoenix doesn't let up. This parrot doesn't even have a chance to squawk back.
Let's pull more evidence together. We have photographic evidence in the crime scene photo, as well as 4 eyewitnesses that prove the mirror was not present at the crime scene when we got there. Take that! So, the mirror was there before you got to the cabin, but was gone by the time you left. Interesting, isn't it? I don't think you took the mirror while in the home, because a mirror that large would be far too heavy for you to carry. That leaves us with 2 remaining possibilities. The first is that the mirror was removed from the scene during the time period that you were in your hiding place, where you would have had a full view of the mirror. If that's the case, then you can tell us exactly what happened to it. The last remaining possibility is that the mirror was taken from Cranky's home at some point before last night and the moment you got there. If that's the case, then the mirror was never there to begin with. With no mirror, there's no way you could have possibly witnessed what happened in the room. That makes your entire testimony worthless.
Okay, you're right. It was all a lie. I was never in that stupid cabin to begin with.
Objection! How quickly you forget that we have strange banana markings that match your claws all around the crime scene. And, as we stated before, we saw you on your way out. You almost flew into us, in fact.
But you see,
Face it, Polly, you got yourself into this. Without your testimony, we're back to square one. Except this time, we know you were involved.
Polly's head starts rotating around spastically as he begins to enter into full panic mode.
Okay, I admit it. I was put up to it. They made me do it.
Yes! I knew there had to be someone else involved. And lucky for us, Polly has no loyalty to whoever his accomplice was. As soon as we put the heat on him, he buckled completely. Now he's about to spill it all.
And remember, the mirror's too big for me. I had nothing to do with that. It couldn't have been me. I was bribed. I was paid to get the banana cream smeared everywhere.
I had a feeling you were just an accomplice, but we all know that someone else was there at the scene. Tell us who!
Skurvy, so
out of the way. Ah, look at this.
Getting up from his seat, Cranky walks over to inspect the parrot. He analyzes the bird with sharp, squinted eyes. He opens Polly's beak wide and tries to look at the back of his throat.
It's just what I was worried might be the case. Polly Roger has developed symptoms for Congo-Bongo-Gongrongo disease.
That's terrible! Wait, what exactly is that?
Cranky gets out his Encyclopedia Botanica and presents a page detailing the illness in question.
It's an illness that's carried by tropical birds. Once you get it, you will get all kinds of nasty symptoms. One of the worst is when you lose your voice. Aside from the part where it breaks down your brain cells, that is.
I hate remembering this.
But Cranky, he was the carrier who tried to infect everyone all those years ago. I thought birds themselves are immune to it.
Maybe it just takes 20 years for symptoms to manifest in birds.
The Inka Dinka dude said that all that bad karma would catch up to the little dude, didn't he? Is this the bodaciously bad vibes of the curse at work?
Don't look at me as you speak. All my curse will do is make crackers taste stale for a week.
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what's going on anymore. But I really hope whatever this is isn't contagious.
Whatever the case may be, we're all vaccinated. And the Encyclopedia Botanica says that humans can't even catch the Congo-Bongo-Gongrongo disease.
Woo.
Phew.
And Polly's gonna be out for a while with this disease.
Woo!
Yes!
Yes!
However, if he's lived carrying it for 20 years, he probably won't get a bucket from it, though.
Now that's disappointing.
I want my money back.
But he definitely won't be able to talk for a long time.
That worked?
May as well break even.
I guess
I
take it.
suppose this was the best we could have hoped for.
It sucks this had to happen right when he was about to explain everything. He's a pain in the neck to the very end, huh?
Frankly, I think that it's even more disappointing that his last words were, predictably I might add, intended to betray an alleged co-conspirator.
Call me crazy, but I think I just heard him say Skurvy at the very end.
I suppose his intention was to shift all the blame away from himself. And the extra frustrating part is now that he can't talk, we can't even force any more details out of him. Polly has the most smug look on his face, and it's clear he's taking joy in our frustration. Though, even now, I'm still able to smirk, because the last laugh is definitely ours. Unfortunately, we know for a fact he tampered with the crime scene. That's a crime in and of itself, and worthy of punishment. Anything to say in your defense, Polly? I didn't think so.
The bird shall wait in jail for now. We'll deal with him later. You have my vow.
A trapdoor opens up underneath Polly Roger, but as he is a bird, he can fly, so this doesn't affect him in the slightest. He even goes so far as to attempt to laugh at the judge, though he's still unable to produce any noise resembling words.
Hey, Eddie, you're up!
Me ready!
Donkey Kong takes out a banana and loads it into what must be the entrance to the most complex Rube Goldberg machine I've ever seen.
Huh? When did he have time to set that up?
It slips down a slide into one of the many baskets of a miniature Ferris wheel. Gravity spins the wheel and the banana falls out of the basket and onto a platform, triggering a weight to fall which catapults the banana over a short arc into the next segment. Bells are rang, whistles are blown, and the banana at one point strikes a match, boiling a kettle of water and using the steam to fill a balloon. It's the works, I'm telling you. Eventually, at the very end of the room-spanning contraption, the banana is loaded onto a single roller skate on a ramp, which slides over to Eddie, who picks up the banana.
Without any warning, Eddie clobbers Polly over the head with a large club, knocking the bird out. Polly then falls into the trap pit after all.
Okay. That one got me.
Wait just a minute. What was the banana for?
Eddie tosses the banana back to DK, who peels it and eats it normally.
Come on!
Nice work, Eddie.
Ha 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 ha! Stupid bird!
Alright, maybe we should get back on track. Before he lost his voice, he definitely said Skurvy. That's the name of the pirate captain from yesterday. He said Skurvy stole it.
Is he in the audience anywhere? Doesn't seem like it. We'll have to go get him.
I can save us all some trouble.
Rool pulls out a portable monitor of some kind to place atop the prosecution bench. He adjusts some dials and the screen turns on to display a live feed of Captain Skurvy.
Oh hey, there's the pirate.
Skurvy has a shopping basket in his hand full of food items and appears to be in a supermarket.
Does Rool have cameras set up all over the island or something?
What? Yar! What be the meaning of this? Rool, is that you?
Indeed. I'll cut to the chase. You've been accused of committing a crime, and we're going to need you to testify in court.
Matey, I be a pirate. What laws haven't I broken?
Yes, I understand that, you slippery sea dog. Just listen while I explain.
To be frank, I think it's rather rude of you to pull something like this out of the blue on me. We haven't spoken in years, and the first thing you want to do is put me to trial? You got some nerve, you butt-ugly bilge rat.
Why, you no good! Look, Skurvy, you don't like me, and I don't like you, but we both have a bone to pick with Donkey Kong. It just so happens that DK has been accused of breaking the crystal coconut.
What? When? How? That was me great-grandpappy!
So now that I have your attention, let me finish! DK is the one on trial as of this moment, but the last witness suggested that you may have something to do with this crime. The way I see it, the sooner you can get your crusty carcass over here to the temple of Inka Dinka Doo, the sooner you can prove you had nothing to do with it, and the sooner we can get DK thrown in jail for the crime. Does that sound agreeable?
Yar, I'll be over there shortly. If the crystal coconut truly do be broken, I don't know what I'll do.
Sounds like we'll have some time to kill before Skurvy can actually make it here.
I came as fast as me legs would take me. Oh, me blasted hip. Whew.
How did he? Huh. Oh, okay.
Buddy, welcome to my world.
So what be the finer details of why you lot needed me here?
Polly was testifying, and he accused you of having something to do with the crystal coconut breaking.
Polly? Polly Roger? Why on earth would you ever believe a word out of that buzzard's mouth?
Truthfully, I don't think any of us actually believe him. But we need to do our due diligence or some such thing and make sure no stones are unturned, etc. All we need from you is to get in front of that witness stand and tell us what you were doing yesterday in the hours around noontime.
Witness, you may take the stand.
Aye, I can do that.
State your name and occupation.
Captain Skurvy, and I lead a mean, nasty, rotten pirate crew.
Now, Scurvy, Polly accused you of stealing a mirror from the crime scene. Frankly, I think this would have nothing to do with the crystal coconut matter at hand, but here we are regardless. The time frame when this could have happened was anywhere between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. yesterday. Just tell us where you were and what you were doing at that time, and we can be done with this.
Proceed with your testimony, witness.
I'll try me best to remember. Har.
Witness testimony.
Yo ho ho. Around noontime, aye? Let's see here. To be honest, I was on me ship the whole time. That old coot keeps the crystal coconut in the cabin, right? I was nowhere near there.
So, you were nowhere near the crime scene at all?
Nope. Landlubber.
I'm beginning to believe our feathered friend simply shouted the first name he could think of in a pathetic little attempt to rid himself of suspicion.
If that's the case, then we're in a real bad spot.
The prosecution maintains its initial opinion. Even after all of this pomp and circumstance, the most concrete evidence we have of a culprit is Donkey Kong parading around with evidence from the crime scene. That makes him the prime suspect.
Aye, mateys. Ye lot can save yourselves the hassle and just have DK walk the plank right now to get it over with. Ha ha ha.
The defense will now cross-examine the witness.
Cross-examination.
Maya and I are going to have to really consider how to approach this one.
The worst thing is, we actually saw him come from his pirate ship. We were speaking with him at the cove for a good chunk of that time period.
It could only have been earlier than that, before we saw him. So it's not impossible. We would just need to figure out when he was actually there.
We can play guessing games all day long. I don't think we'll get anywhere with this testimony without some sort of hard evidence to connect Skurvy to the crime.
I'm trying to look for anything we haven't found an explanation for. What about those cuts on the mirror frame?
Whoa, you're right. We haven't looked into that at all. I think we can make some strong inferences from these marks, considering we're dealing with crocodiles with sharp claws. Go for it, Nick.
Objection! Ladies and gentle monkeys of the court, I would like to draw your attention to a set of peculiar marks that were found on one of the objects at the crime scene. Marks specifically on this mirror frame. I can feel all the eyes in the room on me as I show the court the empty frame we found.
We already deduced that Polly Roger was responsible for leaving those marks.
You're thinking of the small marks of banana cream that were elsewhere in the crime scene. What I'm referring to, however, is a strange set of divots into the wooden frame itself. Now, Polly's talons would be far too small to cause cuts this deep and spread out as far as they are. But that's not to say that someone's claws didn't cause these. In fact, that's exactly what the defense suspects. What we can determine is that someone with large claws was grabbing a hold of this frame for one reason or another.
I suppose you mean to tell us that since apes have no claws, that only one of the crocodiles could have caused these cuts.
Precisely. This will be easy for us to discover who it was, as there are only a handful of crocodiles on this island. All we need to do is have each of you grab the frame and see which hand matches the size and spacing of the cuts.
You can count out my crew completely. I'll have you know, as any civilized leader would do, I enforce hygienic habits between my minions. That includes manicures. Our claws are trimmed to perfection, and neither myself nor my minions could cause cuts that deep.
Everybody looks at Captain Skurvy, the last remaining crocodile. He looks uneasy and holds a frown on his face. Though he has to power through some serious hesitation, he finally speaks.
You don't need me to grab the frame to prove it was I. I'll admit it.
This could be the moment of truth. What's he going to say?
I'll admit that I snuck into Cranky's cabin and I stole the mirror.
Wait, just the glass?
Well, I've had an empty mirror frame on me ship for years now. I had to get a pain for it eventually.
That's such a kooky and specific thing to need.
It's a long story.
Oh, I remember this one. One time, DK bonked his head, and Skurvy used an empty mirror frame to make him think he was a pirate.
Yeah, that sure was an interesting day, if nothing else.
So, what? You just took the pain back to your ship? Would it be there if we were to search the ship now?
Nope. It'd be lost somewhere in the jungle. I slipped on one of those banana peels that those smelly apes always be leaving around and dropped me booty. Or something. Landlubber.
I don't buy this one bit. He just expects us to believe it's lost now?
Well, we certainly didn't find any trace of mirror at the crime scene. Or nearby. So it's not like we can disprove him. But, Nick, I've been thinking. We've been focused on this mirror for a while now. And we still don't know what it has to do with the crystal coconut, if anything. Even if it was stolen, isn't it possible that the mirror being stolen and the crystal being broken were separate events?
Darn! I know we're grasping at straws here, but there has to be a connection. I just know it. Because if there isn't, then Donkey Kong is as good as guilty.
Is there anything of use we can glean from this new information?
We know that Skurvy was there at the crime scene. I think that fact is more important than the mirror itself. Captain Skurvy, regardless of the reason, you had to have been in that room at some point. I'd like for you to testify about what you did in Cranky's cabin. On top of that, we need you to specifically testify about the crystal coconut.
It won't be any help, I can tell you right now. I never even laid eyes on the crystal coconut while I was there.
Even still, we need you to officially testify all the details of everything that happened.
You may continue with additional testimony, witness.
Witness testimony.
Like I said, I've been missing a mirror pane for over 20 years. I just happened to catch a glimpse of that mirror in the cabin while I was out and about. And wouldn't you know, it looked to be the perfect size to fit me frame. So then, I snuck in while everyone was gone, and I swiped me prize. I never even checked the crystal coconut. Not this time, at least.
Proceed with the next cross-examination of the witness.
Cross-examination.
We're in the dark here. We've got nothing left to go on. We still have no evidence of who touched the crystal coconut itself, and the mirror feels like a dead end.
You may be right, but this scenario just isn't making sense. There has to be more to the events that happened in the cabin. I just know it.
Realistically, how could the mirror have been involved in this crime? And more importantly, why?
She's right. I can't seem to figure out any connection. My mind starts to drift to Skurvy himself. What's his connection with the two objects? Well, when in doubt, press for more info. That last statement seems to leave a lot to question. Hold it! Skurvy, you say not this time, at least. Are you referring to your history of wanting to steal the crystal coconut?
Ain't that obvious? All the more reason I would never break it. Me goal's always been to steal it. It's no good to me broken.
This is relevant information, if it is not phony. The witness will now amend his testimony.
Fine. Put this in the record then. Me goal has always been to steal the crystal coconut, not to break it. Alas, this time I didn't even lay me fingers on it at all. I had other business with that mirror.
If only we had the equipment to run fingerprint tests, then we could easily reveal who touched the crystal coconut before it broke.
You know, Maya, we've been taking for granted that we supposedly know everything there is to know about the crystal coconut. I guess it's because Klump and Krusha have had the shards the whole time, so we assumed there was nothing to gain. But why don't we try analyzing the crystal coconut ourselves?
Shoot, I'm all for it. Whatever options we have left, we should pursue.
Hold it! The defense requests to see the broken crystal coconut shards, so we can have a chance to look them over.
With a quick salute, Klump carries the plastic bag containing the broken shards over to the defense stand. Phoenix carefully spreads each individual piece across the bench. The crystal coconut was fairly large, so it broke into quite a few shards.
Nick, shouldn't the chunks of a broken orb be, I don't know, chunkier?
I see where she's coming from. The orb was thick and dense as far as we could tell. The pieces should reflect that. You're right, Maya. All of these pieces are almost flat, with barely any depth to them.
Would the crystal coconut be sliced into flat shards? No, I wouldn't think so. It was a round object. What does this mean, though?
Flat. Flat. Shards of glass that are reflective and flat.
Is the defense quite satisfied? I don't see any reason to prolong this event any longer, with absolutely nothing in the way of proving Donkey Kong's innocence, and no evidence leading to any other suspects. Would you not call this matter resolved?
Yar har har har! I admit, I did take the mirror, but I sure as the 7 Seas didn't break the crystal coconut on the way out.
This just seems all wrong. Skurvy has spent decades trying to steal this priceless item, and then when he gets the chance to do so, he takes a mirror instead? And what's more, he didn't even check to see the crystal coconut. Otherwise, he might have noticed it was smashed. Or maybe he did smash it and he's lying. A stolen mirror and a smashed relic. That almost seems backwards.
Yar, I think me hearties over by the defense table are frying their brains. No matter how much you think about it, nothing is going to change.
We'll just see about that, Skurvy.
Feast your eyes! Yes, I took the mirror, that's not a lie! My frame has long been empty, so I improvise. The paint and then my frame are both the perfect size. But you can trust your gut, I left the crystal coconut. Trust me, guys! The mirror never lies.
How can this be? All the shards are flat I see in front of me. Coconuts aren't flat, but would a mirror be? Could all of this just be a plan that he devised? Is the mirror truly gone, or have we had it all wrong? Hold it, that's it, guys. I've seen through all his lies. I see his true intent because the shards are incongruent. This is why
what?
The broken shards were lies.
Since when?
The mirror was a lie.
What are you blabbering about?
Objection! We've had it all wrong from the start. These are not broken pieces of the crystal coconut. The only thing these could possibly be shards of is the mirror pane.
Nick, you're absolutely right. Even as I try to match the pieces together, they're starting to form a perfectly straight sheet of glass, not a round orb.
The pieces are all coming together, quite literally. The mirror was intentionally broken, and the shards were left behind where the crystal coconut was being stored. I believe whoever did this fully intended to make us think that the crystal coconut had been broken. We can only draw one conclusion here. These mirror shards, and the whole idea of the coconut being broken in the first place, was a ruse. The truth is, the crystal coconut has actually been stolen! This is absolutely preposterous! Klump! Krusha! You had those shards in your possession this entire time! How did you not notice this?
Hang on for just a moment.
I don't care for your excuses anymore, you bumbling half-wits! If I were less busy prosecuting, I would fire you both and become my own detective! This certainly was an elaborate trick the culprit played on all of us, but we're starting to see through the deception to the truth. Care to explain, Captain Skurvy?
What? First you tell me it'd be broken, now you tell me someone swiped it. Make up your minds already!
With this stunning new revelation, the case needs further investigation. Until tomorrow, this trial will suspend, while in the meantime, the lawyers can search again.
It seems if I want something done properly, I'll need to do it myself. This isn't over, Phoenix Wright.
With this new development, I think our judge is absolutely right to postpone proceedings until we can get this mess a little bit more figured out. If it was actually stolen from the scene, the culprit may have left a trail. There's no telling which locations on the island were involved with the crime, and that means it's our job to follow every lead we can to protect DK and solve this mystery.
And thus, the first day of the trial comes to a close. Phoenix's investigation of the broken glass shards revealed a fatal flaw in the prosecution's case against Donkey Kong. The crystal coconut was never broken at all. With the very foundation of the case shaken, it's now up to our heroes to track down any traces of the island's treasure, to discover who's really at the center of this nefarious scheme. Just what will they discover with another day of investigation? Find out next time on Legend of the Crystal Turnabout. To be continued.